back to the game. Ongoing right now, Ateneo versus LaSalle. Oh, wow. Why am I wearing green? So, anyway, looking at the score happening there right now, we're still in the middle of the first quarter. Ateneo leading by 2, 17-15. Still a lot more basketball to be played. But before tonight's matchup, we were able to catch up with Ateneo veteran Raffy Verano and transferee Dave Ildefonso. Let's watch this. All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcoming to the show Raffy Verano and Dave Ildefonso of the Ateneo Blue Eagles, fresh from their sweep of round 1 of the men's basketball tournament of UAP Season 84. I hate the fact that you swept kasi Lasaliano nga ako, so I have to put that out there. Pero Raffy, I want to start off with you. Siyempre, you're a veteran of this group. And siguro going into this season, it was a bit weirder because of the fact that preparations would never be ideal because of all the bubbles, because of all of the lockdowns in the past. Pero how confident were you in yung ability of this team and of the talent level that you guys had, that you could perform as well as you did sa first round ninyo?
I mean, like you said, our preparation was, very limited. Because, we started basically, I think, only in January until March. But I was pretty confident with this team. I mean, our whole team can, like as everyone said, our whole team can, step up. We like to use that mantra, next man up, especially with Coach Tab's system. And it really highlights that. I mean, as you can see, we use different people and different five guys, in the game, and they all can show up. So, we came into this season pretty confident in what we can do. And, especially with Coach Tab's system.
Dave, this lineup in particular, syempre you're coming into this as a relative new face. Pero how comfortable were you in your first few days with Coach Tab in Ateneo? And of course, how did Raffy make you feel welcome? Because he looks like a guy who welcomes people.
Siguro, my first few days as Ateneo Blue Eagle was back in 2020 before the pandemic. So the first time I went there was in January. So ever since that time naman, Raffy and the other guys, because I knew a lot of the people naman in the team already because I was here for high school. So it was just easy to get back to the system and get to know them, especially from Tequila's experience nga and my high school experience with these guys as well. So thankfully, I'm happy na sila Raffy and sila Mamu and the other guys accepted me with open arms and just let me into their brotherhood.
Raffy, when you look at this team and the entire composition of it, you can argue that mas bata yung team na to. It's a bit younger and you're coming into this as someone who has a lot more responsibility. How did you take that upon yourself to make sure that, everything in terms of yung kultura ng Ateneo Blue Eagles is still intact despite the 2-year layoff?
Hey, definitely you look at this team and we're very young. And, coming in as a vet, and, with a little more experience than everyone else, it kind of took me a while to get kind of used to it, with that role. Because, we're used to having like, the Nieto twins or, like 30, George, all those guys that usually, would be there with the leadership and everything. But now it's different. We have a younger team. We have our seniors, and Mamu and I, we talked about it, and we have to take that responsibility of filling those shoes of the Nieto twins, and that's a hard responsibility. And Mamu and I are looking at it as a super challenge. So we're taking it step by step, but I think we're getting there.
Gentlemen, I know that you and the rest of the team don't like talking about individuals. You like talking about each other as a group. So I'm going to ask you guys to talk about each other here. Ito, Raffy, looking at how Tyler Tio in particular has grown as a shooter, as someone who could really change the game in such a short amount of time, and because of the fact that he's viral every day because he's pogi. Looking at what he's done in terms of his game, can you describe yung growth niya from what he has been in the past to what he is now?
I mean, honestly, to me, it's really no surprise. During the pandemic, we've been training a couple of times here and there, and I've seen his development of his skills and his growth as a person. And I think he's just actually finally getting his confidence back since the pandemic. And it's really not a surprise to me, and I guess for the team, because Tyler could really play. I mean, he's one of those guys that you put the ball in his hand and he can make something happen. I mean, as you can see, he can shoot threes. His floaters are nice. He can attack the basket. So it was really not a surprise for us, or for me especially.
Well, Dave, I want to ask you naman about Mamu because Mamu, in terms of his defensive work, his knack for getting steals, just how annoying is it actually training against him if you have the ball in your hands and he's the guy right in front of you?
Well, we all know Mamu's a great defender. He's one of the better defenders in the UAP right now. And as you said, it's really annoying going against Mamu because he has those long limbs, and he has a mindset of a defender, and he knows what to do when he's up against creators like me or like other players. And just to add to that, I really had a hard time going against him when I was in MU. Going up against Ateneo because he would be on me most of the time, or it would be Matt, 30. I would just be up against these great defensive people. So I think Mamu learned a lot from those defensive people, especially from Matt. But he's been defensive. He's been a great defensive guy since grade school.
Dave, how happy are you that Ange Kouame is a teammate?
Super happy, honestly. He's just there to clean up our mistakes on defense most of the time. Really, he's like our anchor, really, especially in the paint. If we suddenly get the blow by, Ange is always there to help us out, and he's been doing his job all season long, and we just have to keep up this energy level and just try to produce as much as we can for him.
Raffy, when you look at Ange Kouame's game, do people underappreciate yung value niya as a leader? Because we all know what he can do as an anchor. We all know what he can do on the offensive end, especially setting picks and freeing people up. Maybe people don't look at him as a vocal person or someone who demands a lot because we don't necessarily hear him speak a lot. Pero how is he in terms of his leadership, in terms of demanding things from his teammates?
That's one person I forgot to mention. When you talk about leadership and vets, I mean, he's a great leader. I think like you said, you don't really hear him on the court as much, but behind the scenes in practice, and in the dugout, he's very vocal. He's a guy that shows a lot of emotions when things aren't going our way or things are going our way. He's there when all our heads are down. They're not all over the place, and he's there to recollect us. I think he's a very underrated leader for us, and I think he can really step up if he, talks more, on the court or everything. But I'm pretty sure you guys can hear him sometimes, most of the time when he's on the court. But I think he can be a great leader for us.
Raffy, Dave, congratulations again on the first round sweep. Let's see what you guys can come up with the second round. We're all watching, we're all supporting, and again, we're so happy to see you back on the floor and seeing the crowd come back in. Sana naman the drums soon, so it'll be even. Coach Tab won't be happy about that, but let's see what happens. All right, guys, really appreciate you too.
When we return, we'll talk to the Cignal HD Spikers after winning their first medal in the Premier Volleyball League 2022 Open Conference. Keep it here. You're watching The Game. The Cignal HD Spikers snatched their first medal in the Premier Volleyball League 2022 Open Conference. Tonight, Cignal's own one of the best middle blockers of the conference, Doria, and the HD Spikers' reliable outside hitter, Jerrili Malabanan, join us live to talk about their awesome win. Ladies, good evening and welcome to the game.
Hello.
Ayan. So first of all, girls, congratulations. Nasungkit nyo yung third place finish dito sa PVL Open Conference. Simulan natin muna kay Rose, no? Rose, ano yung pakiramdam na finally, ito yung first ever podium finish ninyo, nasungkit nyo yung bronze medal dito sa PVL Open Conference?
Siyempre, sobrang happy kasi worth it po lahat yung paghihirap, lahat ng mga pinaghirapan po namin mula sa bubble training hanggang sa league po.
Jerrili, this performance this year shocked a lot of people from all the neutrals, all of the observers, kasi syempre Cignal didn't do so well last time around. But what was the secret kung bakit sobrang okay yung performance nyo this season in particular?
I think our secret was how much we trust each other on the court. If you ask anybody on our team, I think they would say that playing on the court, it feels really light because we have so much trust in each other when we're on the court.
You know, Jerrili, I heard about your training camp or your training bubble right before that. It was very reflective, a lot of internal development from you girls. Can you tell us a bit about how did that contribute to what you girls actually achieved here this season?
In our bubble, it was really challenging, physically and mentally. We had training, twice a day and everything, but that really helped us. I think we were the only team to be in a bubble for training before the league and during the league. So I think that was really a factor, with our chemistry being together for only a few months. So I think it really helped us.
Ngayon, Rose naman, pag-usapan naman natin from team achievements to individual achievements. Now, 4 sa mga players ninyo ay nakasungkit ng individual award. At kasama ka nga din doon, kayo ni Ria Meneses, nakuha niyo yung Best Middle Blocker. Nagulat ka ba na kayong dalawa pa yung nakakuha ng award na yon?
Opo, sobrang nasak na lang po kami kasi parang nakuha namin dalawa na nasa isang team po kami. So, sobrang happy lang.
But Rose, when you look at yung performance ng buong team ninyo, kasi syempre early on throughout the conference, undefeated kayo, but then unfortunately hindi kayo nang umabot sa finals. Looking back at everything right now, nanghihinayang ba kayo na hindi kayo umabot ng finals and something to build on for yung next conference?
Siyempre po nung una, sobrang nanghinayang po. Pero sabi naman ng coaches and management po namin na hindi pa rin po kami nagkulang. Binigay pa rin po namin yung best po namin.
You know, Jerrili, I actually wanted to talk about Jel Cayuna, who won that Best Setter Award in this particular conference. Now, from the FEU days up until now to the Cignal days, you've been able to witness how much she has grown as her teammate still. So, what can you say about the growth of Jel Cayuna through the years?
I just want to say, I'm so proud of her and how she was able to get that award. Coming from FU, she had a lot of doubters and stuff, but she worked really hard for this conference, for our team. And during our training bubble, I would talk to her sometimes and she would be really frustrated, but she just kept working hard and stuff. And a lot of us cried for our teammates when we found out that they got the award, because we know that, they really deserve it.
Could you tell us a bit about how the reactions were when you found out that she got the award? Because it feels like that could have been a very emotional moment for you girls.
Yes, I think everybody cried when we found out that 4 of our teammates were able to get awards. It was such a proud moment for all of us. That to know that all of the hard work that we and they put into the league, it really came out and shown this tournament.
You know, Rose, moving forward, alam ko madami kayong mga fans sa Cignal HD Spikers. Ano naman yung message ninyo sa walang sawang pagsuporta ng inyong mga fans?
Sa lahat po ng mga fans po namin na walang sawang suporta, maraming salamat po. At sa next, babawi po kami sa next conference. Thank you po.
Rose, Jerrili, we really appreciate the both of you coming on over. Maraming salamat and congratulations again on the third place finish, and we hope to see you again soon and hopefully in person naman dito sa studio. Maraming salamat.
Thank you, girls.
Thank you po.
Thank you for joining us. I'm Bea Daes-Fabros.
Catch us weeknights here on One News, One Sports, and One Sports Plus. I'm Paulo Del Rosario, and this has been The Game.